れか。せーの。My cabbages! Low, low, man. My cabbages!
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
And what is up, everybody? It is your boy, Andrew Esquire, American attorney over here in Asia. And this is Legal Minds, where we teach you to be your own judge. We have a breaking news tonight with a new charge and some major legal filings in the Johnny Somali, Ramzi Khalid Ismail case in Seoul, South Korea. So we're going to break those for you tonight. This is hot off the press. Just in 1 hour, less than an hour ago, actually, I got the call. This is official. It's on the record. It's in the court records. We're good to go. So we're going to talk about all those updates today. Officially, also smash the like button if you like the new suit. This suit was bought and paid for by Johnny Somali. So we could call this the Somali Safari style suit, if you will. It is absolutely very comfortable, from one of my favorite tailors here in Bangkok, Thailand. And I'm really enjoying it. So I have to say, thank you, Johnny, for the new suit. It feels great. It really does. So let's get into it here tonight with everybody. Thank you for coming in. Smash the like button, share this out, and we're going to get into the new filings. We're going to get into the new information and share all of that with you today. But you know what? First, let's start with the meme. This was submitted by one of my viewers, and I think this is a great meme, and thank you for sending this one in. It's appropriate for YouTube. I got some other YouTube inappropriate ones, but this is a very good one. Somali in the next few years of his life. Womp, womp, womp. And we're going to cover a little bit of his crash out. He's been really crashing out this week, and we now know why. We've seen this happen now 3 or 4 times, where right before trial, right before the court date, something goes down. Somali crashes out. He goes crazy because he doesn't know what to do. He has no ability to fight back legally. He's been losing the legal battle. So what he does is he crashes out. He says crazy stuff. He does crazy stuff. We'll cover a little bit of that. And whenever I see Johnny Somali saying crazy things or threatening people, threatening me, threatening other YouTubers like Atozi, whenever he says things like this, I know that there's some big legal filing that's coming down the pipe to screw him. Anytime he starts crashing out, it's because something is coming, and we're going to find out very soon. So it's very exciting. You know, most people might get mad at him crashing out. I laugh at Somali because indeed it shows that he is absolutely destitute when it comes to legal defense and legal strategy, and he's been losing every single step of the way. Korea has been winning. This is another huge Korea W, and this is showing a strategy on the Koreans' part of every time that he is about to come to court, every time he thinks he's got it handled, they hit him with something new. Every single time, ladies and gentlemen. There has not been a single trial date where we haven't had a last minute. And trust me, we're within 1 week of the next trial. This is unprecedented, ladies and gentlemen, to see this every single time he's about to have the next date, they hit him with something new. It is crazy. I've talked to people that have been in the criminal field for years, that have been involved in this. They have never seen this. It's unprecedented to have even minor updates. These are all major things. So I'm here to give it for you. As always, this is always the source for breaking news. So we'll get to that to you in just a second. But we've got a lot of memberships to say thank you for. So let's start with Robert Von Beek with 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much for the big 2-0. Let's give it a little bit of
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Thank you for that, Robert. Bad News Badger with 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you, Badger, for those 10. And Bama with another 10 Legal Mindset memberships. You know all these memberships are giving Johnny
Emotional damage.
thank you for that. And then we got Warren A for 5 and Sitsitar Luchai Copeland Cup for the 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you for that. Let's get a little...
Oh, hell no.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that as well. Bama says for 10. Good morning, Andrew. Getting bent over at a dealership this morning. Whoa, hopefully you're not getting bent like Ramsey is. At least I have your stream to keep me entertained while my Jeep gets worked on. More for the Seethe Johnny Fun. Thank you. Right now, I can confirm that he is indeed, of course, watching. Johnny is always the one dislike on my videos. And his entire Discord is in the process of melting down right now, which is always great. It's always fun to see that happening. Neko Girl. 862 for 10 says, time for another stream where we can roast RKI without having to interact with him at all. And he can see how many people subscribe and donate to a good person. Yet again, he is learning not only FAFO, but he is learning that it pays to be positive and to push in that direction and not the opposite. Mr. Somali. Since our listener said new crime, new goal, new suit. Thank you. Yeah, this was a great one from some tailors here in the Sukhumvit area. It's very comfortable. It is form-fitted. It's not designer. It's custom. And I would recommend if you do wear suits, you should get a custom-fitted suit that is made, from scratch because it will fit you much better than anything that is off the shelf or off the rack from a designer. Tank Rat. For 50 Legal Mindset memberships. What?
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
There's going to be some big coping and seething over that one. Thank you so much from my OG Tank Rat for that big gift of 50. And if you received any of these gifts, please say thank you to the gifters. Cool Korean for 5. Thank you, Cool Korean. And we got another 5 here as well. My kanji knowledge not coming up big here, but thank you so much for that 5. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Brian Kim for 199 says, I'm more mad at you for being early, not on time. Don't worry. Razorwire says, RKI crashing out before his cell door crashes shut. That's right. Crimson Swan says, I know there's no insanity plea, but I think he's actually insane. That might be the case. Ditzy says, fair to say Korea is edging. They are pushing this thing to the max because they want to inflict as much time on him. The penalty is to drag it out in the process. We are now looking at a high likelihood of him being in Korea, this trial itself lasting until 2026. And, if he decides to fight this, we might even be looking at 2027 at this point, baby. And we might be pushing this thing out real long, which is just insane. I've never seen this happen anywhere in the world. And yet this boy, continues to dig himself into deeper shit as we go on. GP Ravenfire for 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you, my very based mod. Let's give a emotional cabbage.
Emotional cabbage.
A Korean brewing adventure for Ochan, 5,000 won. Says, my Johnny Somali meme is the intro. What's up? Yes, thank you, brother. Gochu Gang, rise up. Hashtag Chris Hansen. Hashtag Oink. Hashtag edgy Korean memes for drama queen expats. Thank you so much. Warren A says, when RKI finally receives his sentence, does South Korea have an appeal system? Yes, he can appeal. Can he afford to appeal? I don't know. How hard is Hank working that street corner? Is mommy giving him any money? I don't know. We're going to talk about that because, these things have to be paid for. A private lawyer is not free. And he does now. Well, we'll talk about that. There's some updates on the legal side. So before we get to that, let's give a little preface. He has indeed been crashing out this week. He's gone on some pretty epic tirades. I'll bring a little clip bit here from this one video. I'll play like 20 seconds. But Johnny Somali this week was melting down. And when I saw this happening, I didn't want to stream on it right away because it wasn't necessarily purely legal. But I knew it was like the groundhog from Groundhog Day that shows whether rain will come or not. If Johnny Somali starts yapping, some stuff is about to go down and it's about to happen. Something always happens when he starts yapping, when he pops his head up. And because he's never exited the cycle, he's never exited the media cycle, we've constantly kept pressure on him. that attention makes it worse and worse and worse and worse. So we're going to get to Ryobi. We're going to get to this. He says RKI keeps talking about his booty goon gang, but the only gang he's taken is his legions of maggots from Hanky Poo's expired mayo up his crusty butt. We're going to talk about booty goons. Let's play this clip here right now so you guys see what he was talking about. This is absolutely unhinged. When I saw this, I thought, okay, this is just crazy. Let's watch this.
Booty goon is? I'm like Ray J.
Hold on.
You know what a booty goon is? I'm like Ray J. I got booty goon. Somali, syringe gang. Don't play with me. I got booty goons. Can someone in the chat tell me what a booty goon is? The Thailand jail, the Bangkok Hilton, Johnny Somali, the Philippine jail, booty goons, the LA County, Somali. Your life over.
So this is just, that was a little clip exposition. I thought that was pretty good, of just him just crashing out this week, talking about inflicting his enemies with sexual attacks in jail. Making a reference to the sexual harassment or sexual attacks upon males in jail. And when I saw that, I'm like, why is he crashing out like that? Oh, it's because he's thinking about what might happen to him in jail. See, all these people, they tend to work on projection. They tend to work on things that they're worried about themselves. And Johnny, as a 5'2" man, and once again, a boy that can be roughed up by any man, much less probably most women, he knows his place in the incarcerated status, and he knows that, obviously he is going to be the underdog, let's say, within jail. And when I saw that, I said, oh, there's something coming. But I had to wait for today to get that information out. And just to be clear and give a summary this week, he was making, implied, once again, indirect. Now he tries to say hypothetical, or, in Minecraft or whatever else, he tries to add in the hypothetical or whatever it is. But he tries to make indirect threats at myself, at streamers like Atozi, people who are covering this, to try to say he is going to attack his enemies across the world like he's some sort of gang leader. Once again, making threats, pretty much consistently throughout the week. Which was pretty crazy. He also went on to come after the Somali community, which was very interesting, and I thought fairly unhinged in another clip I want to show before we get into the update on the charges. So this is just a preface, some of the behavior he was exerting. This is, of course, from Johnny Somali over on X. Let me show this one here.
I'm gonna continue to destroy the Somali name all over the world. Inshallah, I'm going to China next. Inshallah, I'm going to China next. That's 2 billion people, and then I'm going to India. 4 billion. I'm gonna destroy the Somali name. Watch, the Somali name is finished. The Somali name is finished. I'm going China, India, Europe. I'm gonna destroy the Somali name. For this cutting off clitoris, piracy, famine. That's it. The Somali community is known for nothing else.
So he was really attacking the Somali community this week, in addition to crashing out and threatening streamers like me as well. So he was saying some vile stuff, some nasty stuff. I mean, especially the stuff at the end there. So he was really going crazy this week. And I saw this and I'm like, well, he's really asking for it. He's really poking the bear. He's really, pushing things even more. Why is that happening? Well, that would happen because we had the update today. Now, before I get into that, let me get some of these chats and these members, and then we'll get going with the big update. Karl Heinz Grabowski. We have a PowerPoint, by the way, guys. We have a PowerPoint. You know it's going to be good when I have a PowerPoint. You know it's going to be good. Karl Heinz Grabowski became a new member. Welcome. Sneaky Blinder. Welcome as a new member. Jeremy Beaver says this man is going to be so popular in prison. Yes, he's going to be as popular as he is in Hank's bedroom. Kicking Wings 420 says, Andrew, is there any way to warn Thailand about big dog strategies? I have no idea about this guy going to anywhere. So if you got something to talk about another nuisance streamer, DM me or write my Gmail, send me an email and we'll talk. News NM Raven says Johnny has a Somali. I'm in for the scuff says, can we send Arcade to Yemen to catch gifts from the U.S. Air Force? Yeah, he should hang out at the Yemeni airport. If only he could leave the country. All right, Sneaky Blinder says, flexing on Johnny Somali with a suit while he needs Hanks. I know. Instead of getting a custom suit that is tailored to him, he's having to wear Hanky Poo's leftovers. It's crazy. Back to Common Sense Now says, I must say, Hank is starting to earn my respect for sheer endurance. Is he enduring, or is he using Johnny for, for exploiting Johnny, essentially? Richard Gibson, Chin, for 10 says, aloha. I hope he's got a huge cabbage tattoo behind bars. If he appeals, he'll still be locked up. Yes. If you appealed it after he's convicted, yeah, he's not able to go anywhere. Digital Lee for 10 says, Johnny's plan for this case to be such a public nuisance that the court gives him time served and expedited deportment, or does he understand he's lost and wants to go out with a bang? That's not how it works. There's no time served. Korea has no time served. So that's not going to work. And he's not behind bars right now. So he is free. He's just running around. Now he can't leave Korea, but he's free to run around Korea for now. And that's proven to work against him. Once again, Korea's strategy against RKI has worked. By travel banning him and locking him in, they have been able to successfully add more charges. If this had been done in December, they would have had one charge. We now have half a dozen, and we're going to talk about the half a dozen. Nick Brown says Somali will be someone's extended emotional cabbage in prison. I agree. Shilin Lightblade, became a new member. Welcome. And Joseph Nastafi says most people might get mad at him crashing out. I laugh. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Somali wants to trigger you. Somali wants to piss you off. What you need to do is just laugh at how pathetic he is and just laugh at him, not with him, at him, because he is indeed a pathetic figure who is getting what he deserves. Radio Iskander says he's going to end up worse than his lover's towel. And Razorwire, I'll get this one last, says Suit isn't the only leftovers he's getting from Hank. Oof. All right. So let's get into the actual presentation here. We've got a PowerPoint. As always, Legal Mindset, bringing you the good PowerPoints here on Canva. Cooked this one up. Took me 45 minutes. So we've got an update here today. This is hot off the presses as of today, Korea time. So this is a fresh update. First update, procedural. We now have, there's multiple updates here, but first I'm going to give you the procedure. His lawyer from the Eastern District has now officially registered in the Western District. So he talked a lot about this private attorney in the Eastern District. He is now registered officially in the Western District. It is unclear how the defense is going to split work, as Ramsey now officially has a PowerPoint. Oh, sorry, I have a PowerPoint. He has zero PowerPoints. Zero PowerPoints. No, he now has a public defender and a private lawyer. So he's got both a public defender that was originally covering his his Western District case, and a private lawyer, which was on the East, which is now registered in the West. So we're going to talk about this lawyer. So we actually predicted who this lawyer was. We had a leak. Ramsey gave a leak about who this lawyer was. We now know officially the lawyer is Choi Gwang-ho, or Gwang-ho Choi. Choi is his family name. So that is the lawyer that has registered. He is a tax attorney. He has not been inside a criminal courtroom in 20 years. Let me say that one more time. He has not been inside a criminal courtroom in 20 years. He is a tax attorney. So what probably happened, and this is something that we said, was this is probably a friend of Hanky Poo's family who got put on this case. And just so you guys see, I am not making this thing up. Here's over here his blog. You can look this up, and this is also in Korean, so if you want to check it out, this is the original Korean version. I'm just translating this over here, right? So he graduated from Sungkyun Kwan University in 1991, passed the bar in 1998. He joined the Songpa law firm, which is where he is, in 2001. So he did start as a public defender. He did that for 4 years, but then he switched to tax litigation. So he has not done anything involving criminal stuff since 2005. Some of you are not even that old in the chat right now. He also runs a karaoke bar. Well, maybe that's how they found him. But anyways, so the point of the matter is that is the new lawyer. Now, once again, This is not some sort of big shot Johnny Cochran of Korea, right? This is not some sort of super expensive lawyer. This is not some sort of, mega hitter. This is a tax attorney who seems to be handling this based on connections, presumptively to Hank's family. That's a presumption. That's what a lot of good speculation has been made. But beyond that, Hank paid the bill for this. Obviously, Johnny has no money, so Hank Han Jong-yu paid the legal fees for this attorney. So this has been scrapped together by Hank one way or another. And that is how he's now registering. And this is going to be pretty expensive because remember, they got to pay him for all that time and all those hearings. And there's going to be a lot of hearings with the Somali case. So that's going to be a pretty big one. Joel became a new member. Welcome. Stinky Blinder said, RK has a PowerPoint. I didn't know he could read. Oh, no. Illiterate RKI.
Emotional cabbage.
Crimson Splats for 2 says RKS should get Sarah Boone's lawyer if they spoke Korean. Just a dank Raven says sounds like Salami might be serving some hot buns at this point, but I dread to think if the condiments will overflow. I think there might be a lot of mayonnaise on those buns, if you know what I mean. Rayobi said RKI, shut up! You're still travel banned. He cannot go anywhere. I'm loving traveling across Asia right now. It's a great season to travel. If you want to come over and visit, it is a lovely time to come over to East and Southeast Asia, Korea, Japan, Philippines, Thailand. Come over and visit. It's a great time. I'm loving being able to enter and exit the country, something that Johnny does not have the liberty to do. Kid Loco for 14 months is 14 months. Yeah, let's go more years. Awesome. Marzian says even 2 lawyers can't save him if he yaps 24/7. I'm sure that none of them know how much he's streaming, or maybe they don't even care. They're just getting paid. Melissa Artemis for 50,000 Indonesian rupiah. So any chance Hank's mom has had enough and stopped supporting them altogether? She apparently hates RKI, yet her son is supporting the POS. I don't know what's happening. What might be happening is she thinks she's giving them enough for food, but Hank and Ramsey are like skimping on food or skimping on something else and sharing stuff out. It's also possible Ramsey's gotten some text-to-speech, some direct donations that have allowed him to buy a little bit. Remember, if mommy is paying for the apartment, then they don't need to have that much money, right? They're just buying like cheap $1 bottles of soju and going to the convenience store or going out to get pizza. They're not going out and eating at fancy restaurants. They're not going to the Four Seasons. They're not going out and balling out on Hanu, Korean beef. They're not going on expensive trips to 5-star resorts in Jeju, right? They're not doing things that you would do if you had a bunch of money. They don't have a bunch of money. They're pretty broke. And they've been begging for money for a while. Now, I don't know what the allowance is. I'm assuming that the mom is not going to completely cut them off, but is kind of made it aware that there's a pulling back on the legal funds. But who knows? Rayobi said for 10 Canadian, he has a private defender. It took him long enough if he only had money from his cabbages from the start of the first trial. Bigger question would be, would RKI still come late or come into court with a GIMP? We don't know. We're going to talk about the trial because this will impact the next trial. And we're not even getting to the charges yet because we've got a new charge. Bob Doodle says, is there a way to watch his channel? I just want to see what's up. I don't give out Johnny's social media because I don't want to promote him, but it's out there. Dawnbreaker for $19.99 says, yay, another live. I have such a crush. Thank you. Thank you for that. And welcome. Keith Morrison for £5 says, hi from the UK. How is he able to stream and make cash because, even though he doesn't have a visa? Well, that's an immigration issue. And usually if you are working impermissibly, what do? They deport you. But in Johnny's case, they can't deport him because he's pending trial and he's travel banned. So he may get hit with the punishment for the no visa stuff when he's leaving. We'll see what happens. But certainly, guys, he will never be able to come back to Korea again. At the end of this saga, however much jail time he does and the fines and everything, he's not coming back to Korea. He's done. Cryosite Sioneko says, bookmark going 2x mode at start. See you when I catch back up. Cool. Back to Common Sense Now says, does anybody know where Mario Alisi, Big Dog Transies is? He has so many repulsive videos in Manila, worse than Italian Somali. Once again, give me information on it and I'll cover it, but I got to see videos and I got to see stuff that's current. Bad News Badger for 50 Danish Corner says, RKI needs grand mussy so you can tell the court how good of a boy he is. No, that will not even save him. And Yorick says, that's all great, but please recap. I am doing that. And Sneaky Blinder says, can we rebrand him to Johnny? No money. That's pretty close. All right. So let's get over here and give you the rest of the presentation. So let's talk about the new crime, shall we? So here is what we have. Brand new, as of today, we have today, May 8th, 2025, Ramzi Khalid Ismail has been officially charged with a second count. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, not one, but 2 counts of the violation of the Special Act on Sexual Crimes for the Distribution of False Video Deepfakes. This effectively doubles his maximum possible criminal penalty for deepfakes. There are now 2 charges. Each charge has a max of 10.5 years. Thus, the max penalty now he faces is 21 years in prison just for deepfakes. And then, because we have other charges, remember, we've got other charges, that's another 10 years stacked on. So he's looking at up to 31 years. That's the maximum amount now. 31 years in Korean prison is the new maximum that the court can assign him. Yes, 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 yes. Let's do a little.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
If you guys enjoy it, please smash the like button. Also, this breaking news was brought to you by a team of people in Korea who keep me up to date on this. If you'd like to support the team, go over here to my Ko-Fi. Check that out. That's pinned in the comments, and you can donate to the nuisance streamer coverage, which helps out with the coverage in Korea. All right. Well, let's talk about this new charge. So let's talk about this deepfake, okay? So with the deepfakes, we now have 2. What does this mean? What does this mean? This means that we have one from the female victim, which is presumptively Bong Bong IRL, and we have a second charge, which is probably from the Korean streamers, right? Bang TV, who I interviewed. You've got Youngman. You've got Dalgun, who I interviewed. And by the way, Dalgun, who had all of his fines paid for the punch by Donut Operator and by donations from kind people like you guys. So Dalgun, he had a deep fake of him. So did Bang TV. So did Youngman. So all those guys pressed charges against him. So those deepfake charges were pending against him. So all of those charges are coming against him, and they're separate. And what that means is that he can get hit with double the penalties. And even if there was a settlement, a quote unquote settlement with Bong Bong, which is, remember, his whole big legal talk, his whole big legal strategy was, we're going to settle with Bong Bong. We're going to settle with the female victim. We're going to pressure her. And they wanted to threaten her because she showed the image on her stream as well. But she showed it to show how mad she was about it, being like, this is wrong, right? So he tried to blackmail the victim. And not only did that fail, it literally backfired in his face. When he tried to blackmail the female victim, the prosecutor probably saw this and said, oh, hell no, we're going to double down and give you another one. And by the way, there will be no settlement on that one because it's with the Korean YouTubers that you are literally attacking and threatening with defamation. Remember, guys, Hank and Johnny have been threatening to sue the Korean YouTubers and myself, by the way, threatening to sue me with defamation in Korea. Do you think that people that you threatened to sue, and you are suing, you literally said you're suing them, you were threatening Dalgun, you're threatening some of the people, do you think they're going to come to some settlement with you? By the way, that doesn't even really work in Korean court. Even if they were to say, oh yeah, we agree, they still, the prosecutor could still bring it. Their whole big brain legal strategy just got nuked from orbit. It got absolutely destroyed. And remember, Johnny said, if I get charged with deepfakes, I'm fighting this out. Let's fight this out, Ramzi. Let's fight this out. Also, someone says RKI. What is RKI? RKI stands for Ramzi Khalid Ismail. That is Johnny Somali's name, is Ramzi Khalid Ismail. RKI. So this absolutely, to me, and I just was laughing about this, it completely nukes this guy. In terms of all of that strategy he talked about, that's all wiped the floor with. So he's going to have his lawyers, his 2 lawyers, which, by the way, weren't talking to each other. They didn't even know about the other charges. So now they've got to figure this out somehow together, or maybe apart. I don't know. Maybe the public defender has to go now that he has a private attorney. Who knows? And so it opens up an entire new world with massive amounts of problems. I'm going to get some comments, and then we're going to talk about all of the charges together, because we need a recap of all of the charges together in one so you guys understand. And I'm going to post this on social media so you guys are able to see this and share this, and I hope other videos share this so everybody knows the accurate charges. Many other channels are lying and creating misinformation about what the real charges that are in the court in the official records are. I'm going to give you a very succinct, we have a good chart that has all of the actual charges which are pending in court. Everything else is something they may be investigating, something that may be on the table, but it's not in court yet, right? And I focus on the charges that are in the court. Reverend Von Veek gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Given Ramsey.
Emotional damage.
Thank you. Unhinged Valkyrie said, just because. Thank you, just because. Your icon says, I say thank you. Thank you. Kid Loco says, another one crime, breaking a record. This is a record. So I was speaking with my friend who has very good experience in the Korean legal system. He said that he has never seen this amount of charges added ever in any trial that he has been aware of. And not only that, but merged across districts. It's unprecedented, people. This is something we have not seen with anybody else, especially a foreigner. And once again, this attorney, this tax attorney that he has probably never seen this in his life. He has never seen an individual, especially a foreigner, Weigugen, right? A foreigner who's got 6 charges now. It's nuts. James Beachy says, why isn't Hanky been grabbed? He's been dodging his national service. He's been dodging it. Korean Brewing Adventure says Somali gets 4 years. Does South Korea have precedence law where if one Somalis, it would be easy for prosecutors to slam streamers? It would be easy. They would be able to turn to this, and they would be able to hit other nuisance streamers as well. Yes. Uncle Brat for 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you.
Oh, hell no.
Thank you for that. Ryobi said for 10, I wonder if Voctor or Office 910, as it's called nowadays, would take RKI at this point, as he fits perfectly in the company, like distressing people, sexual misconduct, doxing, self-reporting. Yeah, he's absolutely, Ramsey Khalid Ismail absolutely operates like a black company. L. Eagle, the disciple of Wah, for 100,000 dong, says nuclear launch detected. Cabbage. Yeah, he is getting nuked like a Zerg hive. Lugo for 10 says, sir, at least say his name right. Johnny Vasectomy. Oh, no. Canned Meat for 10 Oz says, huzzah, for more time in jail for the ox thief potato, RKI. Kid Loco said he's going to be smelling a cabbage forever. I agree. Keith says for 5, are you going to make a complaint on him for his threat on you? I am not giving away my strategy on that. My strategy is with his threats against me, is to delay him and get him stuck in court as long as possible. So we're going to talk about this because we've got more to talk about how this plays out. And it's not good for Johnny in any way. We're going to talk about that. I am committed to the maximum penalty for Johnny Somali because he continues to prove he is a horrible human being who is absolutely unrepentant for any of his actions. No Horny for 250 Philippine pesos says, Monkey was here. Thank you. Einhanda for 14 months member says, at this point, it's time to tell him, welcome home. Bro ain't ever leaving. Pie Baker said, hey, Eagle, can you make a clip of the audio from Head On, apply directly to forehead commercials of our resident excuse to vote pro-choice? Fluxstorm says, hey, joining late. Apologies if you covered. Is the guy hosting or enabling him possibly opening himself up? It's interesting. They're going to have to be creative with Hank. And once again, they haven't chosen to go after Hank. Maybe after Johnny, but at this point, Hank hasn't opened himself up too much. Although there's been some minor stuff he could have been hit for, and he has been fined for some stuff. Robert Escher for 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thanks so much. Player for €5 says, I know escalating a parking ticket to life in prison is a meme, but at this point, I'm not sure anymore. This is not a parking ticket. These are things he did which were absolutely vile, and he did them with knowledge and did them with malice. I'll get 2 more and we're going to roll. Jopie1992 for 50 Swedish krona says, he'll be the new Morgan Freeman from Shawshank Redemption, stuck in there forever and guiding the fresh inmates because he'll know his way around. Like I said, He's talking about the booty goons because he fears the booty goons. One day at a time, 499 says, do Korean courts have sentencing alternatives like the U.S. where you go to rehab or counseling versus prison? Love your content. Thank you. Glad you like it. They do not. There is no diversion. The only option is a suspended sentence, which essentially is like probation. They could give him a suspended sentence, but at this point, with 6 charges, it does not look likely. Tormir for 310 says, in 31 years, I'll turn 70. Let that sink in. Holy, you're old, bro. Gary Lee says, Hank is so stupid. Isn't Hank's family losing face by this because of his behavior and hanging out with RKA? Also, hey, RKA's mom and dad don't love you. Yes, they are losing big face for this, and they have told Hank about that, actually. Pudding Way as a new member. Welcome. V-Red Fox for €5 says, RKA cellmate, you know, Johnny, they call me the long dong, and I'm not even Korean. Remember, he's going in the foreigner prison. Ryobi said, for those who don't know, black company is a Japanese term for companies that operate below the national standards and norms, essentially like a sweatshop. Yes, it is a Japanese term, but it can be used broadly for bad companies. Octera for 2 said, his hole will be big enough to smuggle others out. Oof, 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 oof. All right, let me get to the next part of the presentation. Let's get to the charges in sum, in total. So here we have, also the process. So guys, I am going to show you everything that is at step 4, okay? I am showing you everything at step 4. That's trial. There are things he is still being investigated for at step 3. This is the Korean criminal process. I've shown this chart many, many times, but just so you guys know, there are more crimes under investigation. Remember, there's stuff like his threats against the streamer Nana. Remember that? The harassment of Nana. There's also stuff like the Lotte World stuff that it can be reopened and can be brought as well. There's also stuff that is coming down the pike. So we can have more charges. But what I'm talking about is stuff at step 4. Okay? This is everything. This is the master list. This is the factual list. If any clippers need to get factual information, this is what the facts are. This is 100% accurate, okay? The 6 charges. First, we had obstruction of business. That was for the 7-Eleven ramen, for throwing ramen at 7-Eleven. That was brought against him in 2024 in November. And it started, this was the first crime in the Western District. He pled guilty to that crime. So he is already guilty of number 1. Number 2, we had violation of the Minor Crimes Act. This is for carrying around the fish, for harassing people, causing them anxiety, chasing them down. That was merged in on the 4th of December of 2024. He has pled guilty to that. On the 3rd charge, the violation of the Minor Crimes Act, this was for disruption on the bus and in the subway. This was merged in right before his trial date. In February 11th, it was merged in. He has pled guilty to that. So 1, 2, and 3, guilty. Here we go. 4. This is a new charge that he was merged in right before his case that I attended. This was right before the one that I went to and Atozi went to. This is a second claim, number 4, of obstruction of business. We do not know exactly what that is for. Our speculation is it is Lotte World. We have not confirmed that. We don't know 100%, but that is our educated guess. That was merged in right before the trial on the 4th of March. Now we had the first deepfake, number 5. That was merged in on the 27th. And because of that, his trial date last month in April was pushed to May. So because of that charge number 5, his trial was pushed from April to May. So now we have again another deepfake coming in for right before the trial on the 8th of May. So guys, look at the pattern here. Look at the pattern of these mergers. On the 8th of May, 27th of March, 4th of March, 11th. What are they doing? It doesn't take a genius to see a pattern here. They are spreading out the charges and they are inflicting as much procedural pain on Johnny Somali as they absolutely can. They are pushing his trial and making him delay, because by doing it 1 week before, the lawyers will panic. Johnny will panic. They won't have time to review the charges. So what are they going to do? They're going to push it down the line. They're going to keep pushing it. And all of a sudden, he's been trapped in Korea for a year, maybe a year and a half. We can go 2 years, maybe even, guys. We're going to talk about what will happen here. So they are making this as painful as possible on this guy. And by the way, it is all because he is making, he's pushing things into making himself, digging himself deeper and deeper, while he's still in Korea, streaming, mocking the system, mocking Koreans, attacking people, harassing people. You're seeing a pattern here. Now, by the way, for the deepfakes, once again, for number 5, right? So this is number 5, the first deepfake. We believe that was the deepfake of Bong Bong IRL, the female streamer who he was making out with in a deepfake. Making out is a sexual crime. It is a sexual act, right? To depict someone making out, right? It's considered an intimate act. We also have similar videos, similar deepfake video of Dalgun, of Bang TV, of Jungman, of other folks. And that would be number 6. So that's what I speculate those are. We don't know. There could be other deepfakes. Because remember, they were in his Discord. And they got information from his Discord. So there may be other stuff ripped from his Discord or submitted by people from his Discord, right? Who may be snaking him even to this day, right? And that may be used against him as a deepfake. We don't know yet. We don't know 100%. We're only going to find out 100% at the next trial. So this is the accurate list. Now let's talk about, people want to know, what are the penalties? So obstruction of business, that's maximum penalty. Once again, there's no minimums in Korea. There's no minimum punishment. So obstruction of business is maximum of 5. Violation of the Minors Crime Act, that's going to be a fine. Same thing with the second one. So those are going to be fines. Obstruction of business, that's up to 5 years again. So now we're up to 10, right? 2 obstruction of business, up to 10. Then we've got deepfakes, 10.5 for the first, 10.5 for the second is the maximum. So put those all together, 10.5 per 10.5, that's 21. I'm a lawyer. I don't math so good, but that's 21 years. 5 for obstruction and 5 for the other obstruction. That's 31. That is 30, up to a maximum of 31. The Korean court, because I know I get this question every single time, when they issue a amount of time in prison, they issue it all together. So they take everything together and they give one number. They don't say 5 years for this. We issue 1 year, 5 year, 3 year. They issue it all together. So they're going to say we sentence him to X amount in jail, and they're going to give a sum. So they're not going to say we sentence him to 3 and 2 and 1 and 5, and there's no concurrent or consecutive. There's no argument about that. It's just 1. So they say, hey, we're going to give you a year, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, right? That is how they are going to do that. Okay, I'm going to leave this up so you guys can see it while I answer some of these super chats, because I want to get some of these questions here. Also, I want to say thank you to Yurtis83 for 5 Legal Mindset membership. Thank you so much for that. Very based. Andrew Hardman, member for 3 months. Thank you. Lex Ludo says, morning, folks. Hey, welcome. Back to Common Sense says, Andrew, can you please help catch Mario Alicia, Big Dog Strategy? He had a video in Manila. It looked like he SA'd someone. Video made by Brian the Lion at BTC. Please email me. It's a separate topic. I'll read your super chat, but I'm really don't have anything to say about an off-topic thing. But thank you for that. Please email me. Thank you. Ryobi said there was a stream where RKI wanted to have a collab with Mom and Trill, but Mom and Trill chose the right decision not doing it. Don't ever engage with this guy. Beside, it would have been like DBR guy or Lord Hito or Goggin just wanting clout. Exactly. They just want clout and they want to yell at people and they want to attack people. Don't give them what they want. Only thing you should be giving them is punishment, right? And negative and making it worse for them. Lay fan says, love your show, my friend. Appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome. Jerry Wynn for 5 Alls says, I remember the other day RKI did escaping from the cops. Could it be charged with resisting arrest? Nah, probably not. Angel Chase for 99 says, it's the process that will burden you the most. Exactly. And that's coming from a law student, a future lawyer. She knows With law, often the process is the punishment, and that is the most expensive part, which I love. I love that they're being financially drained. Jerry S. for 10 pounds says, isn't it fascinating that so many people are interested in this? A proxy for how frustrating life has become in the West, thanks to people believing in uncivilized, behaving in a uncivilized fashion. Yes. I see it all the time. We had a really viral video of a really rude customer here in Thailand. It is a problem. People, when you come to countries, you need to be respectful. I'm sorry. I as an expat, I'll tell you, I'm absolutely respectful of everything of any culture I come to. And if I make a faux pas, I try to correct myself. I do my best to do better the next time if I make a mistake. If you're a goodwill tourist and you want to come, you're fine. But if you think you're going to be intentionally rude and you think you're going to cause crimes and you think you're going to piss people off for profit, you're going to learn. You're going to learn. Bad News Badger said the monkey paw will grant you witches, but also cash in full when the bill is paid. And Johnny, it's time to pay your debt. Asian Dragon says, any information on the fourth charge in the Western District on what the obstruction is? No, we do not. We cannot have that information. So he's asking about, do we know what number 4 is? We do not know for sure. Our speculation on number 4, Asian Dragon, is that is Lotte World. That is my educated guess. I would probably put that at 90% that is Lotte World, but I could be wrong. And I always hold my probability out that I could be wrong. But I'm 90% sure that's Lotte World. But we do not have a firm confirmation on number 4 yet. We will at the next trial. Bad News Badger became a new member. Welcome. Weldon, 1045 for COP 20, 2000. Hey, Legal Mindset, I want to ask you if you're aware of the Puka IP situation where some people say it was hijacked by crypto scammers. Others said Bookyong Kim ceded rights to crypto. I have no freaking clue about that. Once again, like any off-topic stuff, email me and I will look at it. And if it's good, I'll cover it. Baldevi said, love the streams. Thanks, Andrew. My pleasure. Ivanson Nightfall for 50 Norwegian krona says, is Korea fin-doming Somali? Kind of kinky there. Is it some kind of elaborate kink play? I mean, the kink play is usually something reserved for Hank. But hey, whatever floats your boat. V-Red Fox for 10 euros says, what is your name? First day in prison. Johnny after a month. Ramsey Khalida smile. After a year. Huge anus. Person for 5 says, doesn't the retention of a paid attorney for the purpose of defense make him eligible public defender? I'm not sure how that works in Korea. It might be because he already had the public defender that the public defender has an obligation to stay because he knows the charge is better. I'm not sure. We're gonna tell you guys how that plays out because we're gonna be in the courtroom and we will find out. Now, I'm not gonna tell you which trials I'm gonna attend, but I will be attending the trial. We're gonna talk about the next trial because we have a big possible change coming up here. Warren A for 5 Canadians says, what are the chances a CHS charge could be brought up? Big. Now, once again, I don't want to give away any strategy, but there is a chance they can come back. Absolutely, they can be revived. Tian Kelvin for 15 Malaysian ringgit said, if Somali came to my country to mass it up, he knows what he would get. What comes around goes around. The caning. Kid Loco says, very soon in Korean TV, the charge of Ramsey Khalid Ismail and the love for cabbage. And every Korean channel, people better have a finer name for the show. Yeah. I think that the name is, he's a nuisance streamer and there's cabbage. So maybe nuisance cabbage. Robert Von Beek for 6 says, is it in South Korea the norm that how more proven crimes, it's more likely to sentence to the max? The more crimes are on the docket, the fact we have half a dozen crimes means they are likely to give him real jail time. If there was only one, the chances would be low. There's now half a dozen charges. And 2 of those especially are treated very severely. The deepfakes is a very severe thing. Ryobi said, in the first trial, RK wore his booze oversized suit like a child. I wonder if he could wear a checkerboard suit. Rico would be proud. A suit in Korea is not expensive. You can buy a suit for under like $100, $200 if you really wanted to, a custom suit, if you really wanted to go get one. The fact that he's being cheap about it is hilarious. Lex Ludo for 5 says, what's the over-under on Korea stretching the process of 2 years before sentencing? Man, RK is missing out on its content cache. Yeah, they very well could. This can go more than a year. And at this point, I think this trial itself may go into 2026. Just the trial. Grass says, I caught up. Back to reality. Welcome. And Asian Dragon, so that means what for the next trial date? Let's get into it right here. Let's get into it right now. So let's talk about what's going to happen. He is scheduled for his trial on May 16th. So what does this mean? Does this mean there will be a trial delay? Maybe. There are strong arguments for a delay of trial, but there's a possibility against it. Like any good lawyer, and by the way, maybe is the strongest word for a lawyer. I'm going to explain to you both sides. So let's explain why there might be a delay, why there probably will be a delay. I'm even saying it is a 60-40 right now. I'm putting my money on delay, 60-40, that there's a delay. That's my betting odds right now. Before, I was 100% the trial was going to happen. Here's why. This is a new charge 1 week before the trial date. Second, the attorney from the East just registered in the West. So this is the first time that this new attorney is getting acquainted with the other stuff that's happening. So because of that, because of the new attorney and that new count, that new charge, there is a reason for the judge to allow a delay. And if they request it, the judge will grant it because there is a new charge. So if Johnny's team requests it, they will grant it. Almost assuredly. And the prosecution doesn't care. They're like, yeah, sure, you want to take more time? Who cares? Right? We're just going to find more stuff to charge him with. Have fun. We'll hit him with a new charge next month. So it is very possible if they ask for a delay, they could get that delay. And there would be, once again, another month-long delay. Another delay to the next month, to June. So we'd be talking about a June 2025 trial date. Once again, pushing this further and further down the pike. LJ Rook gifted 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Make sure to say thank you if you received a gift. And also, smash that like button, guys. Just like Johnny got smashed. Crappy J says, you're understandably hesitant to give an estimate on the total sentence, but now he's a convicted criminal and facing 2 sex crimes. I'm calling it. He's getting at least 5. 5 is a reasonable estimate at this point. 5 is a very reasonable estimate. That's very possible. And you know what? As a guess, I think it's a good guess. My estimates, I think he could face anywhere between 2 to 10. I think that'd be very reasonable. And the more that gets added to this, the more it looks like it could be more time for Somali. Ryubi said, I wonder if the 2 sexual charges is one from the other girls like Xena, Moxie, or Nana, because the other one of them might... No, it's a deep fake. They're both deep fakes. So the charges that exist right now are deep fakes. Both of these, let me be clear, are deep fakes. Distribution of false video, it's a deep fake. So 5 and 6 are deep fakes. They are not the charges from Nana. They're not anything else. They're deep fakes. So just want to be very clear about what that is. All right. Spark says, possible charge for RKI corrupting minors at Olympic Park. RKI trying to recruit them in the CCP. I don't think the CCP stuff is going to fly. The North Korea stuff is going to fly. They've had a chance to charge them with that, and they haven't. So I don't think any of that's going to fly. I know a lot of people want to push the North Korea stuff, but I think they've got more substantial stuff to hit him with. So I think they're going to stick to hitting him with that. Now, there's a lot of other stuff that can come down the pike, and trust me, we have other stuff that can come. I mean, the national railway laws, for example, could come. That is something absolutely that could come. Sneaky Blinder for 10 Polish zloty says, Arkaz motto, a crime a day keeps the jail away. Tia Kelvin for 6 Malaysian ringgit says, if Somali masks something in my city, he will know. Yeah, if he messes around, he will find out, I'm sure. Okay. So I talked about why the trial could be delayed, and I think that's the 60% probability. Let me talk about the 40% probability on why the trial would not be delayed. So here's why not. And once again, I'm not giving Johnny any legal advice or any help here. I'm trying to, keep it in a way that doesn't help the salami. But Johnny thinks that he's got everything figured out. He thinks this is a slap on the wrist. He thinks this is a joke. Well, if it's such a joke, don't delay the trial. Go in, plead guilty to everything, right? Just go in and plead guilty, bro. Plead guilty, bro. Plead guilty, bro. And you think it's a joke? You think you're going to get slapped on the wrist? Just plead guilty. Just go in and plead guilty. And, come in however you're dressed. He's threatened to wear a KKK outfit, right? To the next hearing. Come in whatever you want to dress in. Wear the hat again. Do whatever you want to do. Obviously you're going to get contempt of court, but have fun with that. And plead guilty and see what happens. And they could do that. And they could think, we got this. And Somali could tell his lawyers, I want out of here as fast as possible. And if Somali wants his out of here as fast as possible, what he needs to do is plead guilty. sort of, maybe, or maybe I'm misleading him. Who knows, right? Once again, I'm not trying to give him too much strategy here, but there is a possibility that they just go with it and they don't move the trial, right? Let me read some of these. V-Red Fox for €5 says, Korean citizens, RKS naked dancing is unacceptable. Korean prisoners, speak for yourself. Super Christian Me World's a Diddy trial started. We cover it. That's going to be a hard one to trial, and there's no footage. So maybe major updates, but not like you can't play by play that one. Fitty Trucker for 20 Australian says, funny how Hank dresses in military fatigue, speaks military jargon, and owns weapons, but dodges conscription. I really wouldn't give this guy live rounds at the range. He is a LARPer. He is somebody who has no idea what it's like to serve a country. He has no idea what it's like to serve in the military. He is physically unfit. He is physically incapable of serving. He's a bloated bump. So, I mean, they would have to get him into shape. He'd have to be kind of whipped into shape to be in any use, even to sit at a desk, eating kimbap. They're going to need to get him in better shape even for that. But Hank is an embarrassment, and I think his country has embarrassed him. His family has embarrassed him. And frankly, he's just a sad case that Somali is exploiting, or Hank is exploiting Somali, whichever way you want to put it. Renzu says, I'm late. What'd I miss? Rewind or catch the clips, which will be up in 24 to 48 hours. Thanks to my clipper, Eagle. Shout out to Eagle. Joppy1992 for 50 Swedish krona says, isn't there a possibility with maximum punishment if he keeps proving himself to be in public menace, which he never seems to do? Okay. So I've talked to my friends about this in Korea. So it is possible they give the maximum penalty. It is possible that they give the maximum penalty because this case shows, and because of the nuisance streamers, it shows why you need to punish harshly, because if you don't punish this person harshly, other nuisance streamers will come and cause a big issue. Other nuisance streamers will come and fight. Other nuisance streamers will cause like problems. So because of that, plus the fact that he went on a criminal spree, he has six charges now. Once again, unprecedented. People who have observed criminal trials have never seen 6 charges merged in. It just doesn't happen. So it is possible they say we are giving him the max sentence for one of the deepfake charges, so 10.5 years. And let's say they just give him 10.5 years and they say, okay, because remember, they don't do it by charge. They do it cumulatively. They do it for all the charges. So if they put them all together and said, okay, we're going to give 10.5 total, I think that's reasonable, to be honest. I know some people get mad about that. It's reasonable. With everything he's done, 10.5 would keep nuisance streamers away from Korea forever. I'm sorry. It would work. QB gifted 50 legal mindset memberships.
Emotional damage.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Thank you, QB. And if you received a gift membership, please say thank you to QB in the chat. That's a big, generous gift up there, supporting the great coverage we bring to you of the Somali legal saga. Of course, the breaking news you can only find here on Legal Mindset. All the other channels, they come to me, they clip me. I love it, though. Shout out to Mom and Trill. I see you guys in the chat. And I love that people are covering this and kind of amplifying this. It's a great topic, and it's something that expats are coming to me daily. I now have lost my anonymity. I did it for you guys. I have lost my anonymity in Bangkok. I'm going around the city being recognized at the grocery store, being recognized at the bars, being recognized at restaurants, everywhere. People are like, you're that lawyer. I'm like, oh, crap. But you know what? I love doing it for you guys. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that people know that this will not be tolerated, and then that people like Somali are not wanted abroad and are not representations of Americans or of foreigners in East and Southeast Asia. They are an embarrassment. We do not own them. We do not claim them. We deny them. Fitty Trucker also giving 50 legal mindset membership.
Oh, hell no.
You are caught in the ceiling. You just
Going to be some big coping from Johnny and Hank in the Love Shack tonight, seeing the big 50. Thank you so much for that. Zia giving 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you. Dawnbreaker for $9.99 says, eating salami, you mean? I mean, Hank is eating some salami, if you know what I mean. Keith for 5 says, who'd know to lock him up until court? Oh, no, they're not going to lock him up to court. That's not the way they do it, Keith. What they do in Korea is they keep them out so they have to pay and the Korean system doesn't have to pay. That's what they do. Alper for 5, my friendly VTuber lawyer over there in California. It's always good to catch stream. Hope you're doing well, Andrew. I am so ready to be back in my own apartment. I'm still in an Airbnb. They're repairing my my damage from the earthquake, and I'll be taking a little vacation next week, courtesy of RKI, right before the trials. So I'm going to enjoy a much deserved vacation. So thank you, RKI, for helping me with the suit. By the way, if you like this suit, this was also brought to you by Somali. This is a Somali safari colored special here. So thank you, Johnny, for the suit and for the lovely vacation. I'll be posting some vacation photos with some thanks, Somali. Just to rub it in a little bit, just to trigger the
emotional cabbage.
Akira Face says, appreciate your coverage. My pleasure. Ruby says, Legal Mindset, you got famous ever since you covered the Doki Bird. It's true. With Kursanji, VTuber review. When I get caught up on this nuisance streamer coverage, it's been a lot for me. Bob says for 5 Oz, this is more directed to his own supporters. If RKA is so confident of winning or that he will get a no punishment, why do he try to flee? And why is he still attacking people? If he's confident, why does he need to go to personal threats? He's literally threatening me with HIV needles. He's threatening YouTubers, myself, Atozi, other people, with booty goons. That is to be attacked in jail. But the funny thing is, the only person facing criminal charges is him, right? He is the one facing criminal charges, not any of us. So the one who needs to fear the booty goons is, of course, Ramsey, Khalid, Ismail, Johnny, Salami. Somali. Lorraine Balan, a new member, welcome. Adrian Vissa says, I don't think any amount of prison time would keep people like this out of the country. They're immune to common sense. No, it will. It will. Adrian, trust me. Do you see these people going to the Philippines? They are not. They're not. They saw what happened with Vitali. They're not. With RKI, people are seeing what's happening, and I guarantee you, if there is a harsh punishment against him, they will avoid Korea. I know that for sure. Greg said, are the people who recognize you at the bar buying you drinks? Sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like going from place to place, and it's a quick like, oh, I know you. And I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, what's up? So shout out to Will, who I met the other day. I actually meet a lot of Wills, but shout out to Will. Cryosite Sioneka for 5 says, if people recognize you on the street in Bangkok pointing at you, to be honest, most of them are pointing up to you, Mr. Johnny. That is true. That's true. I appreciate it. Nuclear Cat for £5 says, so Johnny could get 10.5 years in total or just a deepfake charge? No, I said the total Nuclear Cat is 31 years. Johnny Somali now faces, and let me go back to the charges. Let me show you guys. 6 charges totaling 31 years possible max. The total is now 31 years maximum. 31 years. 3-1. Okay? Raby said, I mean, the collab with False and Rima was and still is the longest and most watched stream to date. I just rewatched it in all its glory. I missed it. Oh, so that was a good one. I think my Vitali video has actually broken my view record. So nuisance streaming is coming up there. Gary Lee from 199 said, hey, Hank, you're a tub. Sue me in the U.S. if you can. He doesn't have the money to do any of that. And he would lose, by the way, because he's a public figure. Fitty Tucker says, sorry, very off topic. Any legal repercussions for Israeli refusing to move her shoes in a Thai restaurant and then insulting the other nation? She could. So obviously there's certain penalties for making broader national threats. But first of all, that owner could come after her, could pursue her. There's possibles. Now, I haven't heard of what's happened to her. I will say this. Don't fuck around in Southeast Asia. I have already seen her. I think she's already been doxxed. People have already figured out who she is and what she's associated with. I think she's modeling. So, her modeling contracts are probably up. Don't be rude abroad. It's going to come back. In the era of videos, let's all be polite. Let's all be good people. How about that? It's not so fucking hard. I'm sorry. I'll put some 20 baht. Hold on. I gotta get this. I cursed there. Sorry guys. I cursed. So, I have my swear jar at my other place, but let's put a good old 20 baht in the swear jar right here for that F-bomb there, but be polite abroad. It's not that hard. It really isn't. It really isn't. Uncle Brad said he isn't salami. He's a Vienna sausage. The micro of sausages. Bad News Badger for 10 months said, Skipper, do you think we should advise Ramsey to stay low? Nah, just wave and smile, boys. Wave and smile. No, let him do whatever he wants. That's just more content. That's just more stuff to cover, and it's just more crimes, and it's just more punishment. Ultimately, his misbehavior, his acting up, his threatening people, threatening me, is just getting him punished more. So go ahead and do it. I don't care. Johnny can threaten me all he wants. I'm not scared of Johnny. I'm not scared of Johnny physically, legally, or whatever else, right? He is an impotent little toad, okay? There's no fear of Johnny in that aspect. He can do it, and he's going to suffer consequences. ICS System, become a new member. Welcome. Ryopa said Grampy at toes. He said no swears legally minded. I know. I'm trying. James Beachy said 6'6" in Thailand stands out. I know. And I have a pretty clear. I look pretty unique. Don Peter X says if maximum time's super rare, what's minimum? There's no minimum. So the minimum could be 0. However, it's highly unlikely at this point, right? It is highly unlikely that there will be no penalty at all whatsoever. I would be freaking shocked. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are the major updates for today. Now, there will be more information on this, and we will definitely have some updates on counter filings. So I imagine they will make some filings at some point in this case, that they may file some evidence. Also, there may be new evidence filed in their case very soon, and there may be other things filed against them. We also have the trial coming up in a week. So expect them to have to take action on that to decide one way or another, and they're going to need to take action soon, the next couple days, to decide whether they want to delay that. So we're going to catch that very, very soon. Real quick, Neko Girl said, for the swear jar, it's natural to swear when you're passionate about something, so here's for your swear jar. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Kokun Kap. As they would say over here in Thailand. William Hughes for 5 says, Hanky and Johnny and Item, it seems odd Hank sticks around for all this BS. Hank has talked very long about their proclivities. According to Hank's own testimony, Hank met Johnny at a gay bar. That is not me making this up. This is them. He's also talked about his preference for femboys. And he has said, and I quote from Hank, Johnny is exactly my type. That is a verbatim Hank quote. So, you can put 2 + 2 together. That doesn't take a lawyer or a genius. I'll let you guys be your own judge of that one. Unhinged Valkyrie for £2 says, for the oops jar. Thank you. And Spark says, I'd pay to watch Hanky in his basic training. Wouldn't that be great? Okay, guys, on that note, we know what Johnny and Hank are doing tonight, and that is a whole bunch of
You are coping the ceiling. You just can't believe what you're seeing. It's you coping the ceiling. The truth it is all day, and now you are more than you